welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Today I'm going to be doing a tier list video, which I love making tier lists. So the tier list I'm going to be doing is Taylor Swift related, and I am going to be doing the Taylor Swift is Insane 2023 tier list. This tier list was created by the Swiftologist on YouTube. He has a video doing this tier list, and that's where I found out about this list. And I thought it was such a good list that I thought I'd do it myself and make a video out of it. So all credit goes to him. He made this tier list. He did a video on it. So this list covers every Taylor Swift moment of 2023. And this year, as you might have seen, has been such a huge year for her. I don't think she's had this much of a bigger year since 1989 era. It has just been such a great year for her, such a great year to be a Swiftie. I can say confidently that I don't think her popularity has been as big as it has been this year. You cannot leave the house, at least for me personally, without hearing about Taylor Swift. You can't leave the house without hearing someone talk about Taylor Swift. You can't leave the house without at least hearing one Taylor Swift song somewhere. She's just huge right now in a way I've never seen before. And I've been a Swiftie for 13 years and I've never seen her this big before. And it's so awesome to see. It's been such a fun year to be a Swiftie. And so I like how this list kind of goes over all her moments from this year, all her iconic moments from this year. So we're just going to talk about them and rank them in order of importance, I guess. Don't mind my kitty. He just came in to the room and he wants pets so bad, but now he's biting me, so we're not going to stand for that. No, 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 no. No, it hurts. No. Anyway, let's just go into the titles for the tiers. So I'm just going to keep the titles of the tiers exactly how they were made because I think they're pretty good. I'm not going to change them at all. So the first tier is Thank You, Jesus. That's the top tier. That one is dedicated to her best moments that I personally thought she had this year, that I would put at the top of importance. They were iconic moments. Next one down is a moment most pleasing to me, and I think that just means that it was a great moment, but I wouldn't say it was the most important, impactful moment that she's had this year, but it was still like, oh, I'm glad that happened. Next one down is Well, This Happened, and that just means I was indifferent to this moment, didn't think much of it. It just is a moment that happened that we have to acknowledge, but just wasn't so significant to me personally. Next one down is It Over Now? I wish it was. I love that title. And that just means a moment that's like, oh, I wish that wouldn't have happened, but it's not the worst thing that happened. The last one is This Literally Didn't Happen. Like, I wish that wouldn't have happened. I'm upset that this happened. It was her worst moment of the year. So those are the tier names, and let's just get right into it. The first moment that I'm going to go over is the Grammys 2023 when she showed up on the red carpet in that navy blue two-piece. I liked this look. It's not my favorite, but I did really like this look. I think she looks so classy. I liked how it was very in the spirit of Midnights with the color scheme. I'm gonna put it in a moment most pleasing to me because it wasn't like so impactful, but I did love the look and I think that was a great night for her. And something that happened at the Grammys this year was her reuniting with Harry Styles. I would definitely put that in Thank You, Jesus. For sure. It was so cool to see them on talking terms again, and we also saw this at the Grammys for, what was it, 2021 Grammys, where you could also see them chatting in the crowd together, and it's just so nice to see, especially knowing since they had such a bad falling out from the songs we know from 1989. It's nice to see them, like, be friends. I think that's so cool. Next, we have the Lavender Haze music video. I really like this music video. I love the aesthetic of it. It was really good. I think it was visually just stunning. I would put it in a moment most pleasing to me because I wouldn't say like Lavender Haze is my most favorite song, especially off of Midnights. I think she looked so stunning in those scenes where she was in the water. Like, the next one is really funny, and that's Ashley. That is the Taylor Swift impersonator who showed up on the scene this year. Oh my god. I have seen the videos of her, and oh, they're so cringe. They are so cringe. The thing that really gets me about her and that really creeps me out about her is that she will deny that she is impersonating Taylor Swift when she so like clearly is trying to impersonate her. She purposely makes herself look like Taylor Swift and then will deny online that she's trying to mimic her or impersonate her. And it comes across as so creepy. Like, if she was just to admit that she is impersonating Taylor Swift, that would be fine. But it's the fact that she denies it that makes it seem so freaking creepy. She weirds me out so much, and it's so cringe. I would put Ashley Leachin in well, this happened. I think I'll put it right there. Or should I put it in Is It Over Now? Let's put it in Is It Over Now because it weirds me out. I want it to be done with. Like, please just stop impersonating Taylor. And if you have seen, oh my god, when she went out in public dressed as Taylor Swift with fake bodyguards behind her and a whole swarm of people surrounding her because they thought she was Taylor Swift because she had the whole, like, sunglasses on, looked like she was trying to hide her identity with a whole crew of bodyguards behind her, so people actually thought she was Taylor Swift. That was so weird. Like, what are you doing? It's all for clout. It is all for clout, and it's so weird. She creeps me out so bad. Oh my god, probably the biggest thing that happened in terms of Taylor Swift this year is the Joe Alwyn and Taylor Swift breakup. Oh my freaking god. When this happened, initially I was crushed. I try to stay kind of far removed from Taylor Swift's relationships. Like, I don't like to like dwell on them as much as kind of other Swifties do. I kind of don't really care so much about who she's dating in the moment, but because Joe Alwyn has been her muse for her music for 6 years, there's so many songs about him that I personally am very attached to. When they broke up, it was crushing to me because based on the songs she's written about him, I thought they were forever. So I was devastated when they broke up. I was so devastated that I texted my mom and was like, Taylor and Joe broke up. Like, for me to text my mom over a breakup that isn't even my own and acting like that, like acting so devastated with her, that's crazy. Initially, I would have put this in This Literally Didn't Happen. But because it's been a while, and now that I've kind of like really analyzed the relationship and how Taylor has acted after it, I do kind of think he wasn't the right person for her. And that's a whole long story on why I think that. And I think I want to make a completely separate video on my now changed feelings between the Joe Alwyn and Taylor Swift relationship. I think I will make a separate video about that, but I don't want to talk about it in too much length here. But now that I have a new perspective on the relationship, I would put it in, well, this happened. It definitely isn't a moment most pleasing to me because I'm not like celebrating their breakup. I think that was something that was probably really hard for her to go through. So it's like, I'm not going to be happy about it. But I would just say, well, this happened. Like, it's a moment that happened. But I wouldn't put it in the bottom tier now because my feelings about it changed. And I can't wait to talk about that more. I think it'll be really interesting. Then we have Taylor's first public appearance since breaking up with Joe. That was a pretty significant moment, especially because she showed up in public like days after news broke that they broke up, and she was just she looked great. She looked like she was, I don't know if she looked like she was happy, but she didn't look, she wasn't like hauled away at home or secluded by herself. She was out and about after just having broken up with the person she'd been in a relationship with for 6 years. That was quite a moment. I would put that in a moment most pleasing to me because it was nice to see her like out and about in public so soon after a breakup. Like, she was vibing. She was not going to let it get her down, it looked like. And I love that. Next, we have the Eras Tour. I mean, how could you not put that in Thank you, Jesus. That was one of the best things that happened this year. I was able to go to the Eras Tour, and that was the highlight of my year for sure. It was an amazing show. And just seeing the success that this tour has brought her is so cool to see. It is one of the reasons why this year she's the most popular she's ever been, the most successful she's ever been. This tour has been huge. Unlike any other tour she's ever had, the like widespread media attention it has gotten it's incredible. I would actually love to like it's like this is the video where I'm just thinking about video ideas I want to do about Taylor Swift. I would love to do a video about my experience, my personal experience going to the Eras Tour because I have a lot to say regarding it and, you know, my experience at my show. So, you know what? I might just do that. The next one is swapping Invisible String for The One on the Eras Tour set list. And the reason why this was so significant is because this happened right after the news broke that Taylor and Joe broke up. And Invisible String is so clearly about Joe, you can't deny it. It goes over her relationship with him in such great detail. And it was very telling when she switched a love song for Joe for a song like The One, which is a song about, you know, dwelling on a past relationship and wishing it worked out. That was crazy. I would put that in, oh my god, I don't even know what I would put that in. I would say, well, this happened, I guess. I wouldn't say it was a moment most pleasing to me because it kind of breaks my heart that she felt, well, from what we can put together, that she felt like she had to, you know, change out a love song for her ex and switch it with another song that's more about heartbreak. Like, that's really, really sad. And it would have been cool to see the Invisible String on the set list at my show, but I also like The One, so it doesn't bother me too much. I like both songs. But yeah, that was a very telling moment, a very interesting moment. Next, we got the behind the scenes shots of the I Can See You music video. When these shots were released, oh my gosh, I remember the fandom was going crazy because they were shots of her in the Speak Now tour dress, that gold dress that she, specifically she performed Sparks Fly in. And it's such an iconic dress, and it was so cool to see her in that outfit again. It's one of my favorite tour outfits of hers ever. I would put this in Thank You, Jesus, because it was so surreal seeing her as the Speak Now Taylor again, and it made me so excited for this music video. Okay, next we get into the Matty Healy stuff, which, oh my gosh, you're gonna see my thoughts on that. Okay, so the first one is, I didn't even know this happened until recently. Like, for some reason, this moment just kind of went past me when it first came out. But at the Eras Tour during Cardigan, Taylor says, what did she say? She kind of mouths, "This song is about you and I love you." And it's a parallel to something that Matty says during his concerts in correlation with a song he has that's called About You, I think. I don't know. I'm not like very much into the 1975, so I don't know, but that's what I've heard. And when I heard about this just the other day, I was pretty kind of peeved. It bothered me tremendously. So she said this like just a few weeks after the news broke that her and Joe were over. And I don't know, just to see her on stage saying "I love you" to Matty was really weird. Like, I don't like to judge so much, but I am kind of judging here, which I feel kind of bad. But that's only because I feel so like, we Swifties, we have parallel social relationships with Taylor Swift, so we're gonna get really involved. But it just, I don't know, it bothered me that she would, like, so soon after the news broke that her and Joe broke up, would like be on stage saying "I love you" to someone. Like, maybe I'm just reading too much into it and she's just trying to pay homage to the 1975, but it weirded me out. And giving context to her relationship that was going on with Matty at that time and how it seemed to be romantic, it bothered me. I'm like, weren't you just in a relationship for 6 years and you're already saying "I love you" to someone? Based on context that we have now, though, it seemed like Joe and Taylor were over for quite a while. even before the news broke that they had broken up. So, I mean, I guess with that context, it's kind of okay because they had been technically broken up for quite a bit, like at least a few months, but still, it weirded me out. I'm gonna put it in this literally didn't happen because once I found that out that that happened, it really bothered me tremendously. And then we have Matty Healy showing up at the Eras Tour. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's nice that he was there to support her. We will, as Swifties, we should really like acknowledge people who want to support Taylor because we love her. So that was good at least, but I mean, I don't like Matty Healy. I do not. I am one of those Swifties that is bothered by him. I'm gonna put it in Is It Over Now because yeah, that moment. This next one is a meme that I don't really know the context of, and it's too small for me to actually read what it says, but it's a meme that compares Maddie and Joe. I'm gonna skip over that one because I don't really understand the context behind it, so we're just gonna skip that one, and we're gonna go right into Matty Healy and Taylor Swift's first public appearance together. Oh my god. Like I was just saying a few seconds ago, I was not down for Taylor and Matty being involved because I had heard and with evidence provided about how like just how would you put it? How much of a just bad person that Matty is. Some of the things he said, some of the racist things he said it's just horrible and it really, really confused me and kind of devastated me at the time as to why Taylor would associate with someone like that. Because I know, at least from what Taylor has shown, that she's a pretty good person. She has very great moral values. So for her to associate with someone who says such vile things was really devastating to me, and it kind of, for just a bit, it ruined my perception of her a lot. And maybe this was just me like wanting to just hang on to the belief that she is a good person. But what really made me give her a pass though is because she had just broken up with Joe, who she'd been with for years, and I think she was kind of desperate at the time, and she was willing to just get involved with any guy who showed her attention. And I think Maddie was just there in the moment, and so she used him as a rebound because that's really all he was. They were together for what? A month, 2 months max, so they were not together for long. So I kind of like forgive her for that. I think she was just very vulnerable at that time. But it was truly a very confusing time for a lot of Taylor Swift fans because we just couldn't understand why she would be with someone like that. She had nothing to gain from being with him. It was crazy. I would put that in This Literally Didn't Happen because that was probably the most, that was her worst moment of this year, was being with someone like that. I feel like I'm coming across just so judgmental in this video, but I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, it really bothered me because it was just so unlike her to be with someone that's horrible. Sorry, but I do not care for him. He is, do not like the things he has said at all. Then we have this moment, and this is where, before the surprise song at one of her shows, I forget what show it was, honestly, but she says, "This is the happiest I have ever been." And this was shortly after the news broke that her and Joe had broken up. So to hear her say that was like, wow. We were not expecting that, at least I wasn't. It was a very interesting moment indeed, because at this time, a lot of us thought she was, gonna be really down in the dumps after just going through a breakup, but she let us know she is the happiest she has ever been. And whether that's true or not, it's kind of like, I don't really know, because I feel like when you are truly happy, you don't go and announce that you're happy. I feel like someone who is truly happy wouldn't feel the need to like tell, they'd rather show. But I will take her word for it because I trust her, and I think she really is happy. I think this tour has truly made her the happiest she has ever been. I think we can see that really clearly when she's up on stage and she looks like she's having a blast. So I'm gonna put this in a moment most pleasing to me because it was really nice to hear that she was happy and that she's content with where she is right now. I love that for her. And then we have the Midnights, the late night edition release. When this first broke, that this version of Midnights was being sold at, what was it? Was it like the, what show is it? I think it was New Jersey. I forget what show it was where we found out that these were going to be exclusively at these shows. But when it was first announced, I was really, really sad because I wanted this version of Midnights so badly, and it was a tour exclusive at this one show. Supposedly, as we'll find out, it wasn't just exclusive to that show. I was so sad because I couldn't get my hands on it. But turns out it was going to be sold at future shows as well. So when my show came for the Eras Tour, it was being sold at my show. And I specifically sought out the merch tables just to see if they had it in stock. And I wasn't going to like wait in a long merch line unless they had it in stock. But once I saw that it was in stock, I got in that merch line, waited what, an hour and a half max because the line was so long just to get that CD. And I'm so glad I got my hands on it. Oh my gosh, it has some of the 3 AM tracks, and it also has You're Losing Me. And it has Snow on the Beach featuring more Lana Del Rey, which is awesome. And then it has Karma featuring Ice Spice, which I don't care about as much. But it was so cool to get my hands on that. And it eventually did become available online on the Taylor Swift store. So everyone who went to a show before the Midnights late night edition had come out could also get their hands on it. So this was a great moment. I would say thank you, Jesus, because I will always be down for more variations of her albums. Next, we have the release of You're Losing Me. This was exciting when it happened. It's always exciting to get a new Taylor Swift song. I now would say that it's not my favorite song ever, but I do really appreciate it for what it is. I think it gave so much insight into her relationship with Joe. This is technically her first breakup song about Joe, and it was pretty heartbreaking at the time. I would put this in a moment most pleasing to me because I was glad to get a new song by her. I would say the feelings I have for this song is that I love the ending of it more than the first few verses and the chorus, but the last like minute of it is so good. Then we have Karma featuring Ice Spice release. I just talked about this a little bit ago. I love the original Karma more. I would always choose the original Karma over this feature. Initially, when I first heard it, I hated it so much. I'm not a huge fan of rap. I think I've talked about that before in my videos from years ago. I'm not a fan of rap. So I wasn't the greatest fan of Ice Spice's verses before, but eventually this version kind of grew on me a little bit, actually. Like, I thought Ice Spice's verses, after I kind of heard them after a while, they were pretty clever, actually. Like, really clever writing. I really love in the bridge where, what is it? I think it's after Taylor says, Karma takes all my friends to the summit, and then Ice Spice goes, facts. Just facts. It makes me laugh every single time I hear it. It's really, really funny. I would put this in, well, this happened. I'll just put it right there because I wouldn't say it's like the best thing ever, so I wouldn't put it in the top 2 tiers, but it's a moment that happened. Then we have Speak Now TV release. Yes, we gotta put that in. Thank you, Jesus. Speak Now, I think still to this day it is my favorite Taylor Swift album, so I had been so anticipating this release of the re-recorded version, and I think this is her best Taylor's version so far. I think all the songs stayed really true to how they were originally. There's none of the songs really strayed far away from how they were originally recorded, which I really appreciated. It was just a solid Taylor's version re-recording, and the vault tracks are great. I love I Can See You. That was such a mind-boggling song to think that she wrote that when she was in the Speak Now era. It blew my mind. The only sad thing about the Speak Now Taylor's version era is that it was cut so short. I wish it had been longer, but what do you do? I'm still glad it exists. Next we have Dear John Taylor's version, and specifically before the Dear John surprise song at the Eras Tour, Taylor specifically told the fans, do not go after the person who this song is about, which I thought was really, really funny because, I mean, when Dear John Taylor's version came out, of course we talked about John Mayer and how much of a scumbag he was for being with a 19-year-old and taking advantage of her. So of course we were gonna go after him, but it was really funny for her to say like, "Hey guys, just like leave him alone." And I know why she would say that because it's been years, so she doesn't want to cause any trouble for anyone, even her exes, when they kind of deserve it. I'm gonna put this in a moment most pleasing to me because it was so funny. It was so funny. I kind of love her for it. Next, we have Taylor Lautner showing up at the Eras tour. Oh my god, I melted when this happened. I loved seeing them reunite, seeing them hug on stage, and the things Taylor Lautner said about Taylor Swift was so, so sweet. You can tell how much he admires her as a musician, as an artist, and I love to see it. It's like I said with Taylor and Harry earlier, it's so nice to see her on friendly terms with her exes because that's so rare to see, but it's so good to see them as friends. I love it so, so much. They're just, he will always be her best ex ever, hands down. Hands down. I'm going to put this in thank you, Jesus, because I do think was one of the best moments of this year to see the Taylor Lautner and Taylor Swift reunion. I love it even more than the Taylor Swift and Harry Styles reunion, just because I love Taylor Lautner so, so much. Next, we have Long Live added to the Eras Tour set list. This was iconic. I was so pumped when I found out she did this. And she did this after Speak Now Taylor's version came out, which was really, really fitting. I just feel like this song needed to be added to the set list, and I was really sad when it wasn't added to the set list initially, but seeing it, being added some months after the Eras Tour debut was great, and she played it at my show, so I got to see it live. I am really kind of sad for all the fans who went to earlier shows of the Eras Tour, so they missed it. That is kind of the only messed up thing about it, is that if you went to the Eras Tour within the first 3 months of when it started, you missed Long Live Live, which is really sad because it's such a coveted song to Swifties because it's, a song that we have a lot of attachment to because it's a song that is about us. So it's a fan favorite for sure, and a lot of fans missed it live if they went to the first few shows, which is sad, but at least it is in the Eras Tour extended version movie. So you can see it there, but I feel for the ones who didn't get to see it live. I'm going to put it in Thank You, Jesus, because we needed that. That song needed to be on the set list. Next, we have the I Can See You music video. A pretty good music video. I loved how it really paid homage to the Speak Now era, where they're in this museum with all the Speak Now, artifacts, the tour dresses, all of that. I loved seeing it. I loved how Taylor Lautner was in it, and it was really cool to see Joey King in it as well because she had been in the Me music video, which is from the Speak Now era. So it was really nice to see not only an homage being paid to the Speak Now tour outfits, but also to everyone who was involved in the Speak Now era, because Back to December on Speak Now is about Taylor Lautner. He was in the music video, and Joey King was in the Me music video. It's just a music video celebrating Speak Now. I loved seeing it. I'm gonna put that in. Let's put it. Let's put it in. Let's put it in Thank You, Jesus. I think it was that great of a moment. I love the music video. My only kind of gripe about it is that the I Can See You song doesn't really fit well with the theme of the music video at all, but it was still a great music video in itself. I loved it. Next, we have Travis Kelce making friendship bracelets for Taylor Swift. Okay. When I first heard about this, I cringed. I did cringe. It was a cringeworthy thing to witness. And at this time, I had no idea who Travis Kelce was. So when this news broke, I was like, oh, it's just this random guy trying to seduce Taylor Swift. Like, I'm sure a lot of guys have tried to do this. Like, he's no different. I was like, this is very, very odd. I mean, now looking back on it, though, I really do appreciate at least the effort that he put into trying to meet with her, trying to woo her. It was actually very sweet now that I think about it, but at the time I'm just like, what is this guy doing? And as we know now, it actually worked, which we'll talk about in a second, because there's another moment that comes up regarding the Travis Kelce saga. I'm gonna put this in. I'm gonna put it in a moment most pleasing to me. I think that works pretty well because it was funny. It was really, really funny when this news first broke. Next, we have Karlie Kloss at the Eras Tour. This is the moment I felt very indifferent about. Like, I really don't care about I didn't care about this moment at all. So I think Karlie Kloss and Taylor Swift, I don't look into this side of her much. So Karlie Kloss and Taylor Swift had a falling out from what I've heard. They had been friends during the 1989 era. I don't remember why they had a falling out. I don't look into this story that much, so that's probably why I don't care that much about it. But I think the moment why this was so significant is because at the 1989 tour, Karlie Kloss had gotten VIP treatment. She was at the on the floor in the VIP section, and at the Eras tour when she went, she was in the nosebleeds. So a lot of people found it really, really funny that it was such a downgrade. But I could care less. I don't care. I'm gonna put it in while this happened because I don't care. Next, Cruel Summer getting on the Billboard, was it the Billboard or yeah, Billboard Hot 100 number one spot. That was huge. For a song that came out 4 years ago to get on the number one spot on the Hot 100 is insane, and it deserves it because it's one of my favorite songs off of Lover. It deserved it so much. So I'm gonna put that in Thank You, Jesus. That was a moment. I loved one of the highlights of this year was Cruel Summer getting the single treatment, getting on the radio, getting to the Hot 100 number one spot. Absolutely insane, and it deserves it. Next, we have the blue outfit reveals from the last show, the US leg of the Eras tour, in which that was the show where she announced 1989. That was iconic. It was even more iconic because I was there. That was my show. I saw her come out in those blue outfits with my bare eyes, and I can, from experience, I can tell you it was such a thrilling time. Being in that crowd with everyone, we all screamed our asses off every time she came out in a new blue outfit. It was an experience. One of the best experiences of my life, honestly. That was such a crazy night. And when she came out in the blue enchanted dress specifically, I died. That is my favorite enchanted dress. At least so far, I don't know if she'll have more. She might, but it's definitely my favorite enchanted dress for sure. We gotta put it in Thank You, Jesus. That was, like I said, iconic. And I'm so grateful that I was there to see it in person. It was insane. Next, we have 1989 TV. Just like Speak Now TV, we have to put it in Thank You, Jesus. Like I said just a second ago, I was there when she announced 1989 TV, and it's I usually I like want to cry just thinking about it whenever I think about it. It is one of the best moments of my life for sure. I mean, it's a moment I will never forget being there when she announced it in person. I'll have to talk about it more when I do my experience at the Eras Tour video. I'll talk about it more then. But man, it was crazy. And I loved 1989 TV. There were some songs that I don't love as much as the originals. Sadly, it's not like Speak Now, Taylor's version, where it was a pretty solid, true to the original version of the original songs, but 1989 I can't say the same for, but it was still great. And the vault tracks, oh my god, her best vault tracks so far. I love them. Next, we have Taylor showing up at the Chiefs game. This was insane. This was crazy. It's crazy. I was baffled that Travis Kelce's attempts at wooing Taylor Swift worked. It worked. Like, she was receptive to it. I think she was really won over by the just sheer effort that he put into trying to, get with her and get in contact with her. I think she found it extremely impressive, and so she took him up on his invitation to show up at his game, and she actually did. That was insane. I remember we were all going crazy when that happened. We got to put that in a moment most pleasing to me because that was wild. That was very, very wild. I will say, as of right now, I'm not like intensely invested in the Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift saga, only because she hasn't written any songs about him yet. When she writes songs about him, that's when I will get attached to their relationship, like I was attached to the Joe and Taylor relationship because there were songs about him. So right now I'm kind of like, okay, don't really care as much, but when there are some songs that come out about Travis Kelce, which there will be, there will be, there is no denying that. I will feel for them a lot more, and I can't wait for that. Next, we have Blue Dress on a Boat. This is a moment that happened during the Red era, and supposedly it was after a date she had with Harry Styles. When this first happened, I wasn't really aware of it because I wasn't as chronically online back in 2012 as I am now. So I only heard about this moment that had happened recently. And the reason why this moment has come and made a rebound is because in Is It Over Now, she references this moment with the line blue dress on a boat. So that's why people went kind of crazy when they heard that line because they knew it was about this moment of her in this blue dress on this boat after a meeting she had with Harry Styles. Because I kind of wasn't aware of this moment until Is It Over Now came out, it didn't really impact me that much. I'm gonna put it in well this happened because like the context of it was kind of lost on me when I first heard Is It Over Now? I'm like, I don't really know what Blue Dress in a Boat is referring to. So it wasn't as impactful for me, but I know it was for other Swifties for sure. Next is Slut Taylor's version. I will say this was quite a moment. When I first heard that she had a song called Slut that was going to be on the vault tracks for 1989, I was like, what? What is this song going to be about? This is such a crazy title for Taylor to have as a song. And it was really funny because I think all of us collectively thought it was going to be a dissing song to the media, kind of like Blink Space was. But in reality, it turned out to be such a mellow track and actually a sad song, specifically about how she feels like she's going to have to deal with people calling her a slut for dating Harry Styles anyway, and she thinks it's kind of worth it because she wants to be with him so bad, so she just kind of takes it. Like, that is so incredibly sad. So I will say the song ended up being kind of underwhelming because I, like others, had such like different expectations of it. It's still a good song though. But it was really funny because we were like, what is the song going to be about? What is a song called Slut going to sound like? Yeah, it's crazy. I'm gonna put it in a moment most pleasing to me because that was pretty hilarious. Next is It Over Now from 1989 TV going #1. That is really crazy. Like, how does a song from that was created years and years ago go #1? Like, I don't think we've seen a vault track go #1, unless I'm missing something, but that was really crazy. That isn't over now. Went to #1. That was crazy. And it's a great song. So I am really glad that it got that treatment. I'm gonna put that in. Ooh, let's see. Let's put it in a moment most pleasing to me. I think I only say that because I wish like Say Don't Go had gone #1 instead because I like that song a lot more, but Is It Over Now is good. I think I'll put it right there. Next we have the 2023 VMAs red carpet look. I was not a fan of this look, and I'm still not a fan of this look. I really don't like the way the dress is kind of crafted. I think the bodice of it looks so weird with the strap, like in a triangle, and then one strap here, and it's kind of like the, what is it? What do you call the lining of the cleavage is what is the word? It kind of goes like this and then this. I didn't really like it. Wasn't her best look for me. So I'm gonna put it in Is It Over Now? I'm sorry, I just really did not like it at all. However, her VMA's after party dress, I liked it. I wasn't a fan of it at first, but it's grown on me. It's better than the red carpet dress, so I think that's why. I'm gonna put it in, let's see, a moment most pleasing to me. And that night was pretty great for her. She won a lot of awards, as you can see right here, and she deserves it, of course. She wore this denim dress. It was kind of like a mini dress. I don't know why I didn't like this at first. I don't think I like denim unless it's a denim jacket or, jeans. I think anything else as denim looks kind of weird to me. I think that's why I wasn't a big fan of it. But I like the shape of the dress a lot, and I think it does suit her very well. Next, we have the Eras Tour movie. Was obviously very, very glad when this came out. And I'm really glad that it is a thing because when I went to my show of the Eras Tour, there was a lot that I didn't catch that I couldn't see from where I was sitting because I was sitting behind the stage, which, you know, isn't the best seats. It's kind of like all I could get at the time. So there was a lot of things that I missed, but now that there is a movie of the Eras Tour, I can see a lot of the visuals at the back of the stage on the back screen that I couldn't see at my show. And that's specifically why I was really excited for the movie. And it was a great movie. It was really cool to see Taylor in high definition up close, of course. We're going to put that in Thank You, Jesus, because I'm glad it happened. Next, we have Beyonce showing up at the Eras Tour premiere. That was pretty great. I'm not a huge Beyonce fan. Her music just isn't really for me, but I'm glad she did go to the Eras Tour and support Taylor, especially because there's so much comparison between her and Taylor by Beyonce and Taylor Swift fans that it was really nice for her to go there and, you know, show her support for Taylor and kind of stick it to everyone's faces, subliminally saying, like, don't compare us. Like, we're friends. We're cool. There's no need for any comparisons here. So I'm going to put that in a moment most pleasing to me. I was glad that happened. And I guess we'll go over this one right here. Taylor also showed up to Beyonce's tour film premiere as well. So it was really cool to see that too. I'm going to put that on the same level, a moment most pleasing to me. It's so cool to see them support each other. And next we have Taylor and Travis Kelce's first public appearance together on the streets, just walking around. I will say it's so nice to see Taylor out in the open with a boyfriend when she hadn't done that with Joe pretty much ever. Very rarely did she go out in public with him because Joe wanted to keep things so private. He was such a private person. So it's really nice to see her with like this really great handsome man on her arm, just out in public walking around. I love that for her. I love that she feels like she doesn't have to like hide her relationship anymore because she has someone who doesn't care about being seen with her and doesn't care about, as far as we can see, doesn't care about, you know, being public. I love that for her. I'm going to put that in, let's put that in a moment most pleasing to me because it genuinely was. Next we have the Taylor Swift reporter. I first heard about this from my mom. She had sent me an article talking about how, who was it? I forget who the magazine was looking for the Taylor Swift reporter, but she had sent me an article that there was a need for a Taylor Swift reporter, and she was like, oh, you should apply for this. I don't know why I didn't apply for it. I think it's because I'm not really a reporter. I have no history in journalism, so I'm like, I don't think I can do that. I don't think I have the capabilities to do that. So I didn't, even though I'm like, oh, that would be such a cool job just to report on Taylor Swift and make an income from it. So cool. So a guy actually did end up getting hired for it. I'm just gonna put it in while this happened because I haven't heard much about the reporter. Haven't really heard anything that he's reported on. I haven't heard any articles that he's been doing, so it's like I don't really know where they're going with this. So we'll just put it in while this happened. Nothing really significant came from it. Next we have the Is It Over Now and Out of the Woods mashup that Taylor did when the surprise song for Is It Over Now. This was pretty great. I don't know why I hadn't thought prior about how well these songs work together. They have the same chords, I think about the same tempo as well. They work so well together and they're about the same person as well, so it makes it more fitting. I don't know if you guys have seen this video. I think I saw on Instagram, but there was this girl at the Eras Tour during the surprise song. She's recording, and when Taylor has that break between the second chorus of Is It Over Now and the bridge, she starts singing the bridge to Out of the Woods. It was mind-blowing. Like, Taylor hadn't started singing the Out of the Woods bridge yet. She was just singing it during the musical instrumental break. And then when Taylor started singing the bridge to Out of the Woods, she goes crazy, she screams, and then she starts singing the bridge over again, just more loudly. It was iconic. I'm like, girl, how did you know? She predicted it. I'm like, that's so crazy. It's so crazy. It was such a crazy video. I'm gonna put this in Thank You, Jesus, because I think this was a great mashup. I loved it. I'm gonna have to cover Is It Over Now and Out of the Woods as a mashup for sure because I love it. I think the songs work so well together. Next we have when Taylor switched out a lyric during Karma on the Eras tour and said Karma is the guy on the Chiefs. That was pretty iconic. And Travis Kelce was there, so he heard it firsthand in person. Let's put that in a moment most pleasing to me. I'm putting all the Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift moments in a moment most pleasing to me because I don't think they're like, to me personally, they're not my favorite moments, but like I'm excited that they happened. I'm gonna put that one there. It was pretty funny as well. And there's videos showing Travis Kelce's reaction to it, and he looked so pumped. He did not see it coming. Pretty sweet. And then at that same show where Travis Kelce was at that show of the Eras tour, we have that video of Taylor running up to him and kissing him. Again, we're gonna put that in a moment most pleasing to me. I think what was really significant about this is I loved how she was so open with a boyfriend, which we hadn't really seen with her before, at least not in a long time. Like, she's just running up to him and kissing him. She's obviously knows she's being recorded. I think that was so sweet. I really love how she feels like she can just be more public with someone and is okay with it. Really, really nice to see. Next, we have Jack Antonoff revealing that You're Losing Me was written in 2021. This was crazy. I think all of us had believed that it's a song that had been written after Midnights was released, or at least at the very tail end of writing Midnights, but it was released in 2021, which means that her and Joe were kind of having problems like 2 years ago, and she felt like she had to write about it. That was insane. I was really taken aback by that. I'm gonna put that in Thank You Jesus, because I'm really glad we have the context of when the song was written, because it gives us a clearer perception of when the Taylor and Joe relationship kind of started to break down. And that had been happening as early as 2021, maybe even earlier. And it really goes to show that the relationship had probably been fizzling out for a while and we just didn't really know it. And I think that's why she was able to recuperate so well after the news broke that her and Joe broke up, because it had been fizzling out for so long. And that's why, like I said a while ago, I have a new perspective on the Taylor and Joe relationship now. And so thank you, Jack Antonoff, for giving us that clarification that this song was actually written in 2021, because that gives a totally different idea of the Taylor and Joe timeline. Completely changes it. The next one is Taylor liking a tweet about Paul McCartney, and I think like a lover of his. I don't know anything about Paul McCartney, so don't ask me. This moment was completely insignificant to me. I think she was liking a tweet that Sweet Nothing, it correlates to Paul McCartney and whoever he's involved with. And I think Swifties kind of took that this song is more about Paul McCartney than it is about Joe. I don't really believe that at all. I still think this song is about her relationship with Joe. It doesn't change anything, but I think she was just liking this tweet because of how it related to Paul McCartney and whoever he's in a relationship with. It was insignificant to me, so I'm just gonna put it in while this happened. Next, we have T-Pain, Taylor's publicist, ending Deuxmoi. And Deuxmoi is a gossip page on Instagram. I think they do a magazine as well. I don't know much about him. I feel like during this video I've just been saying I don't know much about this, I don't know much about that. I'm very, very uneducated, as you can see. I only really am educated about Taylor Swift. Everything else, these little things that involve her, that are kind of unrelated to her in the grand scheme of things, I don't really know anything about. This article, or this Instagram page, Deuxmoi, had been spreading rumors that Taylor and Joe had gotten married in secret some years ago, which, like, there's no evidence for it at all. They were just kind of talking out of their ass, and it got so bad that Taylor's publicist, had to end it. She had to be like, these rumors are not true. They did not get married. And we know this is coming directly from Taylor, because when Tree talks on Taylor's behalf, it's really, that's what a publicist does. It's really Taylor take down the rumors, of course. So we have confirmation there, and I think we knew before. Her and Joe never got married. never did. I think it was really out of hand for this article or this news source to say this. And I'm really glad Taylor really dismembered those rumors because they needed to be. Like, that really is such a damaging rumor to spread because it's such a serious thing for a celebrity like Taylor to get married. So when rumors go out that she is married, that's really gonna like completely change her image for sure. So Tree needed to end them, and I'm glad she did. Let's put this in. Let's put it in. Thank you, Jesus, because this really needed to happen. And lastly, the last thing Taylor related that happened this year was her being crowned Person of the Year by Time. Thank you, Jesus. Of course, I'm so happy. Who better to deserve it than Taylor Swift? I know that's my bias talking, but I'm so glad that she is Person of the Year for Time. And I actually did order this magazine because I have to have it in my hands, and I can't wait to actually read the article about her in her interview with Time when I get the magazine. I'm waiting till I get the magazine in physical form before I read the full interview, but I have seen some of the things that came from this interview, and there's, oh my god, the thing she talks about is so insightful. She is so like really open in that interview from what I've seen. I can't wait to read it in full. And so that is my tier list for Taylor Swift's most insane moments from 2023. Looks like we have a lot in the upper 2 tiers of, I knew that was going to happen because she has so many great moments that I love this year. And actually, now that I look at it, the Thank You Jesus tier and the moment most pleasing tier is absolutely equal. Like, there's none that is more than the other. They are have absolutely equal moments. Love that. Well, this happened has a few things. Is it over now? Has 3. And this literally didn't happen. It's specifically just the Maddie Healy and Taylor Swift moments, which were her worst moments of this year. So yeah, there's my tier list. I'll link this tier in my description if you want to do it for yourself, of course. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's hope that Taylor Swift has another amazing year in 2024, but I think she will because the Eras Tour is still going on. It's still going to be all throughout 2024, and I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a new album. I'm pretty sure TS11 is coming out this year. I really have a good feeling. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Yes, please subscribe if you want to see more from me. I would really appreciate it. And I'll be back as soon as I can. Bye!